CME offer around the clock
You guys hear me in YouTube land? Please let me know in the chat. Get this going in. Camera's not working in Discord, but got me in YouTube. Oh, you guys hear me in YouTube? Please let me know. Somebody? Anyone? Viewer? Anybody hear me? Someone from my trade room. Can you hear me in YouTube? A little help. Thank you guys. All right, I'll be back in 1 minute after this disclaimer stuff.
Risk disclosure statement. There is a risk of loss in trading stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, derivatives, options, forex, and cryptocurrencies. This risk can be substantial and therefore investors should carefully consider their financial stability prior to trading. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. The software, strategies, chat rooms, websites, and any associated websites for digital names for educational purposes only should not be considered as express or implied cost or guarantee that you will profit and losses may be limited in any manner whatsoever. Users of the information accept sole responsibility for the outcomes of their deployment to wholesale business trader, LLC, and any associated companies, agents, management, owners, and customers regardless of information. Please trade responsibly. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, Rule 4.41, hypothetical simulated trading performance results have certain inherent limitations, some of which are described herein. No representation is being given any accountable is equal to profits or losses similar to those shown. In fact, there are frequently sharp differences between hypothetical simulated performance results and the actual results typically achieved by any particular trading program. One of the limitations of hypothetical performance results is that they are generally prepared with the method in hindsight. In addition, hypothetical trading does not involve financial risk, and no hypothetical trading requires to completely account for the impact of financial risk in actual trading. For example, the ability to withstand losses or adhere to a particular trading program is product trading losses or material points which can also adversely affect actual trading results. Because these trades are not actually executed, the hypothetical results may or overcompensated for the impact, if any, of certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. There are numerous other factors related to markets in general or to implementation of any specific trading program which cannot be fully accounted for in simulated trading or in preparation of hypothetical performance results at all, of which can adversely affect actual trading results.
All right, good morning. All right, pretty active morning. Missed a bunch of trades as usual, but I got some winners too, so we'll go over those. Just got long here in NASDAQ. Missed a whopper short a little bit ago. I love you. We'll go over that, but anyway, we got activity down here. There was a stop run into the Gexy level. I didn't take it off of this one. We have, these are different strategies I'll be covering here, but we have a newer trade that trades these Gexy levels because this options flow is just so dominant in the market, and these dealers have to hedge at these areas. So I didn't take it off of this one, of course, because I'm like, oh, it's blind spot 6. That's not the that's not the heaviest gamma that you could be trading. So I would have taken it into that one. But anyway, you could have jumped in right there and caught this so far. But I'll be going over these these different strategies. So right now I just took in NASDAQ. So this is the sexy Gexy I was talking about. It's one of the only trades I'll jump in the middle of the zone. But I just took a Izzy trade. Where's that here? Inflection zone and a pick. So the way I trade is I have 6 distinct stop iceberg setups that I look for. It's the driver of my trading, the foundation of everything I do, because it's the most powerful thing I've ever seen in my 25 plus year career of trading. So I look for these events in important areas, right? So again, if you guys aren't familiar with this stuff, CME released this enhanced data about 7-8 years ago that shows with 100% certainty where these iceberg orders are. It's the big money that have to hide their orders to stay away from these algos whipsawing them to death or making them chase their order. I'll cover that, but and then it shows stop runs, right? Stop runs are usually retail trader puke, so it's incredible information. It's so incredible, it's the core of my entire trading. So anyway, so this is an example. This market came down, put a stop run into right here. This is where this gapped up overnight too, and then just pulled back here. And again, I missed this trade. We'll go over it. And again, I always miss the huge winners that you don't get tortured on. So anyway, I came back to this inflection zone. This zone was some stuff back here. We'll go over how I draw these in this webinar. But anyway, event was there. Took that. So I'm long that. And I only put half size on. I've been using this price change algo, this market pulse. This thing's incredible. It helps you time your trades a little better too. So we'll go over this, but you can see every time this thing price changes, not every time, but most of the time, this is what these algos, these certain types of algos trade off of. So when you have an outsized price change, it snaps back. So what I've been doing lately is I'll get in half my position like I normally do, first move out. But if it's, most of the time, if it's price changing into that price, and then I'll wait for the price change the other way. It hasn't done it yet, and I'll put on the other half. So I only have half longs on right now. If I get a price change the other way, I'll put on the other half. Let me make sure this is on sound-wise. It gets really annoying sound, but it'll at least alert you. And then the other long I have on here is a pick. Profile encourage, we call it. So you see this market came right to the top of this guy. Again, another important area.
Speaking of Fox News, says that we will look across the board at layoffs.
So came right here with that stop run. So I'm long Izzy and pick. And then my stop is here. So this is the zone drawing tool I use. Developer in my trade room found a way to get this MBO data, stop iceberg data, this stuff drawn on the chart. So anytime a threshold event, so threshold meaning an amount that is tradable, that's worth trading. Again, these are all my thresholds from watching these things for 8 years. I have a determined amount for each product that is tradable, right? So I don't trade every blip on this thing, but when it gets to threshold, in this case in NASDAQ it's 150, I will trade it, right? So then this zone drawer is that information there, right? So and then we have distinct rules for entering these trades. So the yellow line is the entry, the blue line is the current ATR, which is very important. That's the volatility in the market right now. And then the yellow line is where I enter. So I try to get in on my position trades. I'll wait for it to get an ATR plus 15% out of the zone to enter it, and then my stop goes down here. So what's great about this is, it tells you where you get in, where you get out, and your position sizing based on that risk, right? So again, this is the best way that I've determined for position trades where I'm looking for bigger moves to where I get in here and I risk all the way down here, because that helps me stay out of the algo nonsense, right? So these algos can pick up just like we can pick up with this data when nothing's going on, and that's when they start to whipsaw everybody, right? So that when nothing's happening in here, they can push this market all the way back here and do this back and forth, as anybody who's been ever traded anything knows, right? So that helps me avoid the whipsaw nonsense the best I can, right? But we do have trades that we're jumping right in the middle of the zone as well. And then we have reversion trades where we play for the move back to the zone. So those go on nonstop, every market. Here's one in crude. Actually, I'm long crude, and I'm going to be getting out of here in a second because of the. So there's a great example of a 1 ATR trade tagged in. So the 1 ATR is this. These are what these lines are on the chart. So here's the 1 ATR, the 2 ATR, the 3 ATR. The 1 ATR stop. Wait, sorry, that's not right. 1 ATR stop for this zone. This was for this stuff over here. 1 ATR stops there, 2 ATRs, 3 ATRs. So that's for the trade. It's more of a scalp. It's the best way to scalp these markets, in my opinion. So many traders want to scalp the order book. It's just not possible to do it consistently and make money it's just not, it's not viable, right? I mean, when I was at a trading firm, when my commissions were, rock bottom, I was paying almost nothing because I was one of the highest volume generators in the world at one time. My commissions, it allowed me to scalp, and the algos weren't in here either. But nowadays, unless you're faster than a computer, which you're not clicking a mouse, then I'm telling you, actually, I want to get out of some of this crude right here. Hold on. Listing, of course, it's snapping back on me. All right, so I get out at the, these are areas where I'll get out of my trades. So that got right up to the yellow lug there, and this was daily value area high. Daily value area is 1 standard deviation from VWAP. So I'm long crude. I'll go over this trade as well. It was an Izzy also. So this was this. Now we got a new event coming in I can trail my stop to. So I wait right there. That's why I have these. I draw these every morning for myself in my trade room. If I can switch colors here. So that was that stop run. I went long there. And this market looks very bearish overall, right? It had a major failed balance breakout. Built balance, broke down, failed balance breakout yesterday. And so this still looks bearish, but again, I don't know what's going to happen next. It looks bearish, but I got an event that proved bullish, so I got long. It was very uncomfortable, but it worked, right? So most trades that are uncomfortable are the ones that work. The ones that feel right, don't. So I got out a couple more there. That was this stop run down here that I went long on. Right? And then, so I got long there. New event came in, I trailed my stop to that. This is how I trail my stops as well. One of the biggest, probably the biggest mistake traders make, why they don't make it, is because they're always trailing their stops to random arbitrary areas that they, because they don't want to give back profit. The market doesn't care where you want to give back profit. The volume cares about volume events and volatility, right? So now I could trail my stop to this event, and I do my best not to stop out in prior events. We actually have trades that bounces off those events, so I will stop out of this trade while I will move it down below this zone, right? So I'm willing to risk another 8 to 10 ticks to move it below it versus this is where my stop should be. And then we have an A+ reversion brewing here, where and a back in black reversion potentially, where if it bounces off there, this is the reversion trade I was telling you about, the scalp, right? So let's put this in right now. I'll just put on 2 here. Of course, I'm missing the entry. So I already missed the entry there. So the A+, so again, the markets have this tendency, ridiculous tendency, to come back to these volume events, right? It's kind of just like, these algos step it back. Let me put this stop in before I get smoked here. I gotta get out of this long if this breaks this. So let me get this in first. I'm gonna put this at 38 for my exit for the rest of these. Again, guys, I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but I'm trading live, and I'm trading multiple strategies, and I'm trading multiple markets. Did I just miss this exit too? All right, so there you go. That's the reversion trade right there. That was pretty damn quick. I'm surprised I didn't miss the exit like I always do. Well, the way you trade these is you put your order in, you put your stop in. Once you're filled, you put your exit in right away. You can see it came right back to the zone. That's the trade. This is the best, closest thing to a scalp for those of you that have to scalp or want to scalp, and most traders want to scalp out. Just human nature, because they can't sit through this nonsense watching the market spin around for hours and getting algoed. So this is where you get in and you get out. So that worked, and I'm still long my original trade, and my stop's down here. This actually confirmed as a bearish event now. So off of this, right? So I could go short here, potential trades here too. So let's see what we got. Like this might be an Izzy zone coming back the other way, which it is, right? We got a couple zones here. So market I got long this Izzy, came up here. Now you have another event. If that proves bearish, I'm going to turn around and flip it short. And the short looks way better as far as a thesis. So I will stop out of my long. Again, I'm not going to, this is where I should be entering this short. I'm going to put it below this zone. I'm willing to risk 9 more ticks so I don't fill. This is why we take this trade. This is 2 different things. This is the A+ reversion. Hold on, let me get this in before I miss this. And then, so this is Izzy. So I could put on 12 micros. So this is based off the normal contract, the regular size contract, right? So obviously you can't put on 1.2, but you could put on 12 micros. And I like trading micros because I'm risking $500 per trade. And I can piece out. If I just have one full one on, it's all or nothing, right? So I'm about to get filled on this. I only want to do half size here though, hold on. Remember, I'm going to see how this is. We'll get into this market pulse too. So this is price changing, right? So many times this thing price changes and it snaps back. So I'm not going to enter full size on that. I'll get in half and then wait for it to come back. We'll cover that here. You'll hear it fire off and then we'll come back. So I'll get out of my long into my short. I did get out of some up here correctly. So again, I have certain areas where I will piece out of the trade. I pay myself as the market makes money available to me straight out of trading in the zone. All right, so I just filled on those shorts. It actually wasn't price changing there. It came back, but if it pops back up, I'll put on the rest. And so this is the way I've been doing it lately. This is a kind of a change the way I've been trading these. As far as my, I usually would get in full size. I moved it below that zone, but full size. I just watch this too many times where I'll get in full size and then it'll do that, right? And then it'll price change the other way. So I get in half just in case it does get crushed. So I got something on it. I'm not sitting here beside myself that I didn't put the trade on, waiting for the price change games. But if it pops back again with the price change going the other way, I'll put on the other half. So it's just a better way to kind of cost size, whatever, cost average sizing, whatever the term is. All right. So I am long NASDAQ here, but this is doing something. It keeps tagging an ATR and can't go. Tagging an ATR, can't go. Here it is again. So we have a trade for this as well, right? First of all, the longs that I put on this yellow line, right, that's where I'll stop out, right? We got something in gold here too. All right, lots of news hitting too, guys. So it's like this is just normal, commonplace. All right, you got a little battle of the icebergs here. So I'll come back to that. I was gonna put on a sexy Gexy potentially, but I'm not gonna do that with the buy ice and sell ice. So anyway, we went over these longs I have on in Q. Well, it keeps trying the ATR. It's telling you something. It keeps trying. It can't go. So not only can I move my stop to an exit right there versus here, because it's called the hot knife through butter exit, and you can enter a short too. So because it's telling you something, like I said. So if this comes back here, I'll get out of my longs here versus here. So I'm saving myself, almost 30 points of risk. And then I could put a hot knife through butter short on as well. So I would do that. I'll put it just below this 25.25 as well. I'll step out of these longs. And I actually never put on the other half, which is my error. Now this thing's going to rip off the page. Told you. Right on cue. So remember I said I only put on half these longs? And I said I was going to wait for a price change the other way? Right? So I got filled here. Well, here's your price change. So I could have put on the other half there. I just was on crude, so I missed this. And of course, off the page. New event. Now I trail my stop to this. I'm not going to stop out in the middle of that, so I'm still putting the stop there. And then we have A+ reversions. We just saw one of these in crude, right? A+ reversion, again, the one ATR is right there. Your stop's outside the prior event. That's the scalp I just talked about. So let's put that on. Put on 8 of those. So the bottom is the risk for the reversion trades. There's something going on in metals. Of course. Hold on. This may have already filled. So here, no. So this is the one ATR reversion. This is really slow stuff. Hold on. I got this on OCO too. That's why it's not taking my order. Here we go. All right. So the reversion trade again is a quick scalp, right? So if it tags that, comes back to the zone, I'm out. This is an even better reversion. We call it A+, because for me to be wrong on this trade, it's got to not only get all the way down here, but it's got to get through this activity here. And then I'm going to stop out of my longs down here too. So as usual, there's stuff being said, so I could be whipsawed out of this trade with the headline stuff, but again, it's nonstop lately, so you just got to put your trades on and hope you don't get headline rouletted. Headline roulette, I call it. All right, let me move these stops. So, what was that? Hold on. Why am I? Oh, you know why? Damn it. Got too many on here. What did I just do here? Why don't I not have? Screwed that up somehow. Anyway, remember we're short. We got out of the longs and short. I got the wrong. I put it on the wrong account, of course. But this is an area you can be getting out of some my Gex level, right? So these are areas that I pay myself. If it struggles here, right, I'll get out of a couple. If it keeps going, then I can hold it and play to the next Gex level. It's not always Gex levels, but these are really important areas where these dealers hedge. And I only put on half size here. Remember, I was waiting for, I can't be doing this on the webinars because it's just too hard. I'm hopping from market to market and I can't catch the price change, even though this one just kept going. So this is what I was talking about, right? So it's like I put on half size just in case it goes, and this one went. And I would have never got the other half on. You got to be okay with that. 85% of the time or more, it does the price change, and you can get a better price for the rest of them. We do have an event here where I can trail my stop. Why did I get out of it?
Wheat stocks stopped by ZW 183 programs are mine at 10:30 ABS time. We're expected to hear from Ben Slogan.
All right, so here's the new event here. My stop goes here
No indication
for these shorts.
text or Q&A.
I wish I had full size on, but I don't.
Forecast is for a build of 66.
So again, the stop's here, but it's in this prior event, so I'm going to move it just above there. I'll put it at 51 for my short. And I actually should be short double size here because my thesis, like I said at the beginning of the webinar, where I said I got long this stuff, but my guess of what's going to happen is short. That's when I put on double size. So when I get events that prove in the direction of my guess, I put on bigger size. So I should have double size on here, but should have, would have, could have. Now I do not have double size, I only have half size on because I was waiting for the price change. I could still do it too. You know, if this price changes back up, we'll put on the other half. We'll see. All right, something's going on in metals. Here we go. All right, I'm glad I got back over here because I would have missed this exit too. So here's another example. We've already seen two of these now. So, because they go on all day, every day. We caught the A+ reversion here. So I have courses on all this stuff as well, the rules, and I teach it in my trade room, obviously. So we first caught this one, right? Back to the zone, out, exact tick as usual. It's unbelievable, guys. You would not believe these levels. Anyone who's using the zone drawing tool sees them. It's unbelievable. It's literally like there's a camera in your office. That's how crazy these levels are. But I did the same thing here. So the A+ reversion, again, the reversions work all the time on their own, but you know, the aggressive, meaning you take them as the market moves into them, but you got to take every one, and it's very labor intensive. I like taking the A+, especially on these webinars, in the back in blacks where it tags something and comes back. This one was A+ because your entry was before this stuff, and before this prior event where traders are loaded up, and it stops outside of it. So that was A+. And this is another reason why I don't stop out. So remember, I'm still long this market, right? Remember I said I'm not going to stop out into the prior event. The same reason I take A+ reversions. So I moved my stop down here. I never got stopped. So I'm still long. Right? So that's why I do that. I got to make sure I'm still long. I'm going to keep it on crude so I can put the rest of these on if I get a price change the other way. Well, technically now, again, this is a new event. So I could go long again here too, so we'll see. A lot of activity today, so it's very hard to follow. I don't know what's going on here in gold. This has probably something to do with that line. But when you start hearing stuff in silver as well, that, I mean, it's bigger picture stuff, and you can see here the best way to judge it. I mean, obviously you get the volume events, but when you get this this relative volume, see this relative volume coming in, that's tells you the big money's in here unloading, right? So. This is silver here. So I'm not going to trade silver right now, but just to show you, like, the stuff is all, it just doesn't matter what market you're trading, right? We're looking at for volume events, threshold volume events to take trades. All right, so we had two big stop runs in here.
Also remind us to respect validated slogan.
All right, so again, somebody's. So gold is just all over the place. Lots of volume events in here too. Look at all this activity. I didn't do anything off of this stuff. It's just crazy right now, but that was what we were looking at a little bit ago. And then the market sold off. Buy ice, buy ice. Now salt stops. I could take reversions here, A+ reversions. And I'm okay. So what you don't want to do, so again, this is in the trading course. What is going on in here? Silver's getting smoked too. They're pulling the liquidity. You don't want to be taking reversion trades against the heavy relative volume, right? because think about it, especially like this big buy ice, how they feeling right now. That was not a good area to be buying, right? So they're feeling heat. But the point is, if you see heavy relative volume, you don't want to be hoping the market comes back to the area, because guys need to get the hell out, just like you just saw right here with the stop run. I'm okay taking reversions back into the relative volume. It's the same content, especially if it's in a prior event. So I will take this A plus reversion if this pops back here. So your entry for this one's right here. It's right at these Gex levels too, so that's even better chance. We might have a position trade here too. The teacher's pet of my trade room just alerted me. We have a potential slug trade, and I'm going to go over these trades I missed earlier. I missed out. I did take one in natural gas. We'll go over this, but we'll go over those two. I know, guys, I'm all over the place, but again, lots going on. I'm not going to complain because lately the trade's been horrible, so we're finally moving around. So how are they? So these are other trades I'm taking out called the Ludwig levels. I've been using these things for about 4 or 5 years. Incredible, as you can see. This was actually, I can't remember, did I take this? I can't remember now. It feels like 2 days ago. I think there was a stop run up here, right? Let's see. No. Yes. I put this on, didn't I? Yeah, I put this on. So this was earlier, right? I had this trade on here. Right? I just forgot, guys. I've already done like 15 things today. Anyway, that was buy stop run, called a slug. I'm not going to spell it out. It's right here. One of the trading strategies. So I have a course on this too. So if you get the course or you learn these from my room, it's not to try to apply every single one of these. It's to pick a couple and get really good at them, get profitable at them, and then move to the next one. That was the first one on here. It's probably the highest percentage trade. Slug. Stop run at major lug. Take any trade as a fade trade with a stop run into a major lug. They don't get much better than this. I mean, look at these move. Right? Stop run into the lug. Take the trade aggressively, meaning first move out of the zone, and now we have a potential slug the other way. This one is, yeah, so let's see the stop run here. Yeah, natural gas number coming out here too. So off of this activity, we got Fed chirps too. They just throw it on the fire, like it's just nonstop. These jackasses talk nonstop. Some of them get on and talk for like 4 straight hours. It's just crazy, and the markets react to everything they say. So here's your stop run in a log. Actually, I could have taken. Normally, I could take a sexy Gexy here too. Remember we talked about those auto entry trades into this Gex level. I wouldn't have taken this one because the relative volume is so heavy. That's what we just talked about. But normally, you could take these two, and you're jumping right in the middle of the zone instead of waiting for the position trading entry. So this is the position trading entry for the slug. I'm waiting for it, and this all factors in. So I can put on, if I'm getting in here, I can put on 0.4, risking all the way down there, right, to risk $500. That's how I trade my position trades. Right. See if I get filled on this. And then I have, on this account, I have the A plus reversion working, and this could be a back in black too, where I'm looking for a tag. Let's see if I can get filled here. Let me guess, it's going to miss by a tick. All right, filled on that. So this is the same trade, 2 trades I just took for winners in CL and NQ, right? If it comes back, I'll be out. This is the scalp. I got to be out right now anyway. So if I'm in, actually this is a sexy Gexy too. I'm okay with this one. Hold on here. All right, I'm going to put this back on, but this is a different trade, right? I'm trading reversion trades and sexy Gexy on this account, right? So reversion trade, I originally had that on, but if a new event comes in, I'm out of that trade, right? I'm not hoping it comes back to this event with a new event. But this is sell ice into these Gex levels. There's a lot of caught traders here, so I'm okay putting that on even with the heavy relative volume. See the sell ice that just came in? So the stop for that is up here. And what I can still put on is the slug long. So you see, if you're trading all these different strategies, you have to have different accounts. You can't be like short one, long another one, right? So that's what I have designated accounts. I was doing this on Apex. I still do the Apex accounts, but I have a trade copier, and this is another thing we can go over here. This trade copy, right, where it copies. You can literally have it on. So I'm putting on this stuff is directly to my live account. But the Apex I still trade. That's what I've always traded. But it also, I can copy it right to my live accounts, right? So anyway, on this, hold on, I'm already missing this. All right. So this is kind of freezing up, but that's the trade right there, right? So that's 3 A+ reversions so far that we just had new stuff come in too. That's the I'm sorry, this was an A+, but I got out of the A+ and I put on the sexy Gexy. Guys, I know this, I'm all over the place, but there's a lot of stuff going on right now. So I'm going to combine these two as well. That worked, but that was not the A+ technically because I got out of the A+, but I put on the Gexy. So I'm out of everything. This market's crazy. We have a new event. So what I was saying is I can still put on the slug long here. Remember we said that's the entry for that. As long as the newest event doesn't prove bearish. So, and if I get filled on this now, so say this wasn't here, and I got filled, well, my stop's down here, right? And that's where the position sizing comes in. Well, now, because there's a new event, I could still put on this long and then trail my stop to that guy, which will save me a little bit. All right, so if that comes back up here, I'll put it on. The gold is crazy right now. The entry for that is the 39.12. So again, you want to do the best you can where you don't enter trades into prior events. There's a lot of stuff here. This isn't too crazy. I'm willing to move my entry from 12. I'm talking the last two digits here, 12 up to get above this last event here. So I'm willing to risk another 20 ticks to get in, right? So I don't enter in all this activity because all this is traders that are loaded up. It's common sense, right? So when the market comes back there, they want out of their trades. Anyone that's holding their breath. So I'll keep an eye on this, but if as long as this doesn't prove bearish. If this proves bearish, then we have other trades we can put on, other strategies. Let's see. So this isn't really an Izzy short. Well, maybe it is. Let's see. This was at 38.90-ish to 38.85. If you got questions, throw them in, guys. I know if you're new in here, your head's probably spinning. 38.90 now. So that was in between these two zones. So no Izzy short there. I'm still short crude here as well. Position trade. I really wish I would have put on full size here. I can't do the game of piecing in my trades when I'm on these webinars. It's just too hard. All right, so we already saw this. I trailed my stop to this. We had some sell ice. And we have other trades brewing here too. I'm going to make this one zone. This sell ice and crude. Well, let's see. Maybe not. This was 721. No, they were 9 minutes apart, so I'll just keep them individual. This gets a little subjective, right? You got to decide, hey, am I going to put those together? Or, if they're within a minute or two, then I'll make it one zone. But if this is 9 minutes apart, I'm just going to trade this independently. All right, so I'm already short the Izzy from way above. Remember, I was long and I flipped out of that. Now, if this proves bearish, one, I could take some reversion trades, but if it goes ATR retest confirm, that's called the bark trade. Blind ATR retest confirm. What is that? Well, the edge is inherent in this data. I told you this is the most powerful thing I've ever seen. So I still want to take advantage of that. But I demand, because it means, remember I said in the beginning where I look for these events in my important areas, those are my trading strategies. Well, I'll still take the trade because of the nature of the traders are caught here. But I need to see a pattern where it goes the ATR, a retest confirm. So we'll be, hold on, this may be a reversion here too. So again, the other thing I could take here is a reversion trade. We've already taken 3 winner reversion trades today, right? This one I can take if it bounces off this Gex level. It's called the back in black reversion, or I take it coming back. I'll put that on. I'm going to put an alert down here just in case I'm not on the screen, because that's about 100%. So this is the most active day we've had in here for the Bookmap webinar in a long time. So again, if you're new, you're probably like, what in the hell is this guy doing? All right, technically I could take reversions back to this guy too, off of these Gex levels. The problem is I just don't want to be messing around with this heavy relative line. You're asking for trouble going against it, right? You see, this is where you get the extended moves because some entities are unloading here. Do I really want that sell ice is like right there? Do I really want to hope it comes back into guys that just got run over? No, I was okay taking this one, and which worked, right? Because again, use common sense. What are all the longs feeling as they get run over here playing their, especially in this market? It's like you buy every dip for the last 6 months and it's a winner, right? So what are all these dip buyers feeling right now? Not good. So when it comes back, they want the hell out. There you go. Just got another puke, right? So that's what's happening. There's a stop run right there. I'm not taking sexy Gexys with this heavy relative buying, but this is just a great example. So whoever bought here, real good buy. Not, right? This is probably them puking. Usually the pukes are retail traders. But the point is, these buyers are now, you got a puke there, jump back up. How many guys tried to buy here? They ran into a mouthful of sell ice, right back down, more pukes, right? So this thing could keep going. I should actually, no, there wasn't a short here, I don't think. I was short earlier, but I got out of the trade. All right, I don't know why we don't have new lugs. It should be drawing here any minute. Yeah, there's really nothing for me to short here.
GC short validated.
That's another thing too, guys. If like you're in a short and you're seeing this kind of relative volume come in, you can hold on to your trade for bigger moves because there's gonna be bigger moves. It's not always in that direction, but that there are tons of traders underwater here, especially longs, and they're puking them out before our very eyes. All right, let's see what's going on here in Mr. NASDAQ. I already caught this A+ reversion. Let's see what areas. I should have done this like 10 minutes ago, but luckily it's been sitting there. So there's no area as far as, these were all-time highs this morning, right? So I don't have any Izzy zones or anything. I could draw an Izzy zone right now. So that's a quick little recap of how I draw these zones, right? It's the 4 important areas of charting. Tops and bottoms of balance areas, right? So I'll draw the zones for that. You get the high volume nodes of volume areas too, which are very important of balance areas. I don't usually draw them just for that because I'll have too many zones, but most of the time they line up with something else anyway. That's the second one. And then buying and selling tails. See all these buying tails? That's telling you instant rejection. Very important when you see those, right? It just means it comes down and it instantly rejects. Well, you got like 4 or 5 of them down here, right? So that's another reason to draw the zone. And then the last one is directional conviction. So directional conviction is something like that, where you get these big elongated moves, right? Gaps are directional conviction too. This is a regular trading hours chart. You can see this gapped up. So there was a lot of stuff that happened down here. Say this didn't happen yet, right? This was already drawn. I drew it because it gapped down that day, and directional conviction and a selling tail that day. I'm still short CL. I'm just mad at myself. I don't have more contracts on because I wanted to trade double size here. All right, this is a potential sexy Gexy though. This is a little scary. I'm just waiting to see if there's heavy relative. Yeah, I'm not going to take this. So you see this relative volume coming in. I don't take Gex. You don't want to hope the Gex levels hold when you get traders unleash. So this is just a 1 minute, but it's almost 10 times normal. And you see it's coming in right here. So I'm not taking the sexy Gexy long here, and I'm still short. I'm just mad at myself because my thesis was short. So I know I only put on half size up here, but half size I usually put on double size when the events are in the direction of my guess. Right? So this sucks that I don't have more on. At least I have something on. Right? That was that Izzy. Right? I should have just put the full double size on because I can't keep track of this stuff on the webinars. All right. Regardless, now we have a new event. I'm not taking a sexy Gexy because of the heavy relative volume. Again, sexy Gexys are where I take the trade right in the middle of the event in a Gex level and look for the quick move out. I could at least trail my stop to this event, and we have a potential A+ reversion here too. It's close. I mean, remember, you want your entry before or into the prior event as long as it stops outside of it. This one's right here. I mean, it's into a Gex level too, so I will take that. And I know this is pretty heavy relative volume too, so it's even better. So I'm going to put this reversion trade on if it pops back up there. These are normal size contracts right there, so I can put on 2.4. I'll put on 3 here. I'm going to round up in this case just because I like the setup more right there. Actually, I'll put it a tick below there because you do have this Gex level. All right, so if that pops up, I'm going to take the revert. I'm already short a position trade, Izzy, right? And then I'll take the reversion trade where I'm out back at the zone. My stop goes up here for this. And again, let me post this flip book in here. We'll go over this, but this is everything I use in my trading. I will post it in, I'll post it in both Discord and here. And I'll get to your guys' questions in a second. If you got questions, throw them in YouTube though, because I don't usually see Discord. So let me put this in here, and then we'll go over it. Hold on. Is my screen not being shared in Discord? Yeah, it is. All right. There's just so many damn channels in this bookmap, I can't ever find my channel. Hold on. There it is. All right. Put it in both. All right, so I got that working. I'm still short. You know, this is a Gex level and it's kind of struggling, so I'm going to get out of. I only have 6 on. I should have had 24 on. I'm going to get out of 2 here. So again, this is me paying myself as money as the market makes money available to me. So I'm going to show you this is straight out of trading in the zone. Go over this every week. Right. Straight out of the book, Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. I added my own stuff in, obviously. I pay myself as the market makes money available to me. So this is, I'm at the Q level, right, where I will get out if the market starts to struggle. And it's kind of just sitting here. So I got out of a couple. If it keeps going, I still have some on. This is why you want to be trading micros. Like if I only put on one big one, right, it's all or nothing. I got to decide, hey, is this going to keep going? You don't know, right? If I trade micros, I just got out of 2 micros there. I'm fine, right? I'm risking $500. There's nothing wrong with trading micros. And these educators out there, I've seen one specifically that makes fun of people trading micros. It's like, you're the idiot, not the people trading micros, right? So you can get out, piece out of your position. I have some issues with some of these so-called educators, but all right. I already took this reversion here. So what else can we short NASDAQ here? Potential short. It's already proven to be a bearish event, right? Here's your new lugs, and it put up a fight, the lug, and then it's your new ones. We have trade for this too. And I'm not going to get into that trade today, but you could take this. My room. It's called. Yep. I told you there's a camera in my office. Every time I talk about a market, something happens in it. Anyway, it's called Yellow Brick Road when you form new lugs. I'm not going to get into that as a newer trade. It's this guy here. I know because you guys are confused enough, I'm sure. What is that trading strategy there? So anyway, well, first let's see where we are in NASDAQ so I can possibly short this puppy. I'm still long too, remember? So what you want to pay attention to too, as far as thesis, this is tried to get in here, bounced off, right? Here we are again. Let's see, why is this? What's going on here? What is wrong with this thing? It's not doing what I want to do. Regardless, you want to watch if it gets back inside this guy. The expectation when it gets in market profile composites, and these are just daily value areas merged. Value areas. So value areas where 70% of the trade occurred, right? So if they overlap, then I get a composite of days overlap. So anyway, when you get inside of it, the expectation is the other side. That's just what should happen. If that doesn't happen, that's telling you something too. But if that gets inside here, watch out. These markets are so due for a pullback. By the way, this is the trade I missed to start the day. There was an I lug you up here. Sell ice in the lug. Your entry was like right under it. I missed this whopper and it was instant. I hope my room caught that one. All right, so this is a bearish event. I could potentially put on barking licks here. Let's see. Algo guy is bearish. Or just pulled back bearish, right? So we call this algo guy. It's an exponential moving average ribbon. I use this as my filter for my bark and lick trades, right? So the red is a longer term, the blue is a short. When it crosses, you get these algos that pile on like you're seeing right now. So I need to be out of this bark and lick. Gold is just going ape shit. Pardon my language. That's what my grandpa Chooch used to say. So I should have the stop in there. Why don't I see my stop in there? All right, I'm going to get out of this short. See how this is price changing? Since I'm on this, I'm going to try to play this. So the entry should have been here for the bark and lick. I don't want to enter in this prior event, but I would already been in. So if this pops back up here and see if we can get a price change, I'm going to put this on. If it comes back, I'm still going to put it on, right? So the bark and lick trade. Bark and lick are the same trade where you look for the ATR retest confirm. Lick, you're just holding it to the heavy resting liquidity. Anyway, remember I said I was going to put my exit for my bark and lick I took off this dude? So I just got out of that, but if this pops back, I'm going to put on the bark and lick. Hopefully we can get a price change coming back this way. So this is the price change algo, part of market pulse that you get with the SI indicator, the MBO bundle with the Bookmap. So that's the stuff here. By the way, we'll go through this too in a second, but that's this stuff. Hold on. Right here, right? So this is the add-on that gives you the data. They disseminate the MBO data from the CME that tells you the stops and icebergs, but you also get market pulse, right? Incredible algorithm. Again, they built out market pulse for me when I requested it like 3 years ago, and then they've just added all these things that I didn't even know existed, right? So it's awesome, right? Look at all these different algos you can use. So anyway, this is the one I'm looking at right now, the not piece of tape, price change. So the price change, so we're going to be trying to get this on right now. So I could put on 3, bark and lick, same trade. I want to see if this can pop up and get a price change the other way so I can get a better price. I already took the reversion here too, so this may come back to this zone again, but I already took it. I looked for 1 reversion and I'm done. Remember, we took the A plus reversion and I was out of that. So let's see if we can get a price change, and I'm going to put on this bark and lick. Crude's still sitting in this zone. I will put on that reversion. I'll get to your questions here in a second, guys. It's just been very active. I mean, again, I'm not complaining. About time we get some activity when instead of just a straight grind up every day. Here is a stop run in gold. I'm tempted to put on this sexy Gexy even with this heavy relative volume. You got multiple Gex levels here. You can see it's a double whammy too. So you got buy ice with sell stops. This is inherently bullish in its own right. It should be bullish. If it breaks, then watch out the other way. But again, you got the dumb money puke, which is usually it's not even initiative selling. It's usually guys just getting out of trades. That's the stop run, right? And then you have the big money's buying. So a great example too, guys. It's not the big money's not always right. How did the buying work out up here? Did that work out for them? And again, you don't know they're initiating positions. I don't care what they were doing. They could have bought at a much better price, right? So whoever bought up here was wrong. Sell ice came in after that. But the point is, it's not always just because you see buy ice doesn't mean you just blindly go long, right? It has a much higher probability percentage wise, like and that's all trading is probabilities to hold because the big money is trying to hold it. But they're not always right. And you see when they're wrong, what happens? We call it broken ice. So I'm going to combine these two here, by the way. I did not do the Gexy here. I just want to see what's going on here. All right, there's a lot of grain activity too. I can't cover grains right now. There's just too much going on. Or buy ice in here. I guess they're just going to keep buying it till it stops. I mean, seriously. So guys, just think about, okay, I'm not even doing anything here, but wouldn't it behoove you to know, like, hey, wow, there's a lot of buying down here, right? Like, big money is buying. That's why this is the most important information I've ever seen. Like, if you're not trading with this stuff, I say it every webinar, you just don't have all the information. Like, it's, you don't know what you don't know. You can be profitable, but if you have this stuff, you can be a lot more profitable knowing what the hell's really going on. Is this an A plus reversion, by the way? Let's see. No, my entry's up here. I mean, this could be, so the A plus reversion, the technical rules, like if I made an algo off of this, it wouldn't take the trade, but it's supposed to be if your entry, your ATR entries are in the prior event. This one's just outside of it, but you are into that guy too. And you are into a Gex level. So we'll keep an eye if this comes back here. Remember, I just kind of took this a little bit ago. I took the sexy Gexy, but let's see how it reacts up here. I might take this. Why not? Come on. Get on up there. You can do it. And I could put on, so this sizing down here is for the reversion trades. Right there. All right, I'm going to give this a shot. I'm kind of breaking my rules, but meaning it's not, this entry is not in this prior event, but you got that event and you have a Gex level, so I'm okay giving this a shot. This rips up here. My stop's way up here for this too. And it's got to get through, see, it's way up here. So I'm okay with that. Let's do this as an OCO so I don't forget to cancel my order if I get filled. So my stop's up here, so that's what these lines are, right? So everyone making fun of all these lines on the chart, it's not that complicated. It's just, it looks like a lot just because they're all the ATR reversion lines and stops. There you go. So that is working. And I could potentially take a long off of this too, right? That entry would be there. Let's see if we're in an area to take a long. This is a perfect Izzy zone, right? This is what I look for. And these are the best Izzies where you get these huge moves into this. So here's the Izzy. This is a prior balance area. This is the top of that balance area. This is where this market launched from. Here we are with buy ice and sell stops. So if this turns bullish, aka, there you go. There's another A plus for, I mean, again, that was borderline. So we've caught like 4 of them today, guys. This is what I'm talking about. If you have to scalp these markets, this is the best trade. So if this comes back out of here, as long as this last event here, this buy ice doesn't prove bearish, aka touch an ATR, I will put on the Izzy long. That price is, you can see it in there in the bottom left. More buy ice coming in here. They're just not stopping. So doesn't mean they're going to be right. It's more likely right than wrong. All right, 3862.4, and I could put on 0.3. This is the Izzy long. Let's see if we got any other areas, aka trading strategies. It's pretty close to a I lug you. So this is what I missed earlier in NQ. Let's just take a quick peek here. I didn't merge these days, by the way, for a composite. So remember that the single days have to overlap by more than 50%. That's not more than 50%, or 50% or more. So I did not merge these to have a composite. So I don't have anything to go long there. The only other thing I can go long here is if this tags this lug, which is pretty damn close. And we just got more bias here. So this is pretty close. God, I want to take the sexy Gexy so bad. But guys, there's just major stuff going on in here. I'm not going to hope the dealers get their, like, look at that. Look at this relative volume. That's nuts. All right, so I'm not going to take that, but I will take a, I'm going to take a slug. Hold on. Got all these alerts firing off here. I'll take I lug you and an Izzy long, and that entry is way up here, and the sizing takes that into account, all right? So that's 38. I can put on 2. I lug you and slug. Not slug. I lug you and Izzy. So again, I'm talking about different trading strategies here. And if your head's spinning, how do you think I feel? God, it'd be good if I got on the right market here.
Right, TS long entered.
This is quite a ways away, but that's just, so that, guys, this is adapting to the volatility right now, right? So the ATR in here is off the charts right now. It's 70. What does that mean? It means it's rotating 70 ticks every 5 minutes. That's extremely heightened volatility. Well, this adjusts, right? If you're trading your static, like say you trade gold and like I like to risk 10 ticks to make 20. If you're risking 10 ticks in this kind of volatility, you're going to get stopped out of almost every trade you put on. That's why we adjust. We find the volume event and then we adjust to the volatility on where we get in and where we get out, right? It's the best method that I have seen ever, to use these things. You've got to take into account the volatility. If you're not, you're just a sitting duck. You're not. It's not going to work. I'm telling you. You might get lucky in a couple trades. And the other thing too, because this is adjusting with the volatility, you got to be adjusting this until you get filled. So I'm going to do my best to keep an eye on this. So I'll keep, you know, I don't want to keep putting in orders and moving them, so we'll keep an eye on it. If it gets close, then I'll put on the Izzy and the slug. Let's put an alert up here. So you just left click the cloud notes here, hit enable notifications, and that'll make an annoying sound when it gets up there. Lets me know. All right, I'll get to your questions here. I got to take a breath. Teacher's pet told me FBB in gold too. Let's take a peek. This is the best trade, position trading and trading, in my opinion. Of course, I lost my chart. Where did my gold chart go? Hey, there it is. Right, so we just talked about this balance area, right? So failed balance breakouts are the most powerful position trade that I know of, right? So here we are. Where is it? The high volume node. So if the market tries to break out of balance, well, we could take two different trades here, right? This is the current balance that just broke down from. I could have taken a breaking away trade here too, now that I'm looking at this earlier, where you break out of balance with a volume event. There's plenty of those. So there's a couple different strategies. These are different strategies here. So this is potentially, if this event that just fired off proves bearish, we have a potential breaking bad, BB, current balance breakout. In this case, it's a breakdown through the high volume node. Just talked about that, of the preceding balance. So that's this trade. If this event, again, I'm not just hopping on in here. If this event that just fired off proves bearish, I'm taking that trade. Here's the current balance. Balance areas are just two-sided trades where traders are placing their bets. Whoever was long in here is puking out right now. When it gets through this high volume node, then whoever was long in here, this is the theory, this is what, you know, it's just common sense, wants the hell out of their trade too. So I will take the breaking bad if this event that we have right now proves bearish. That would be a broken ice. But so this is per example, right? Like that looks like it's going to get killed structure-wise. This is about to be, here we go, no, these are longs. So if this validates long, those shorts I just was considering are off the table. This is how I judge. Meaning, if the market, right there, you heard Bookmap Bob just tell you, now I got to put on the slug here. But you see how this is price changing? I just said I wouldn't do this on this webinar. I just don't want to be putting on full size into the price change. So that's pretty close to, there you go. So I'm going to put on half size here. Izzy and I can only put on two, right? This is the risk. I mean, this is what I'm risking. You can see it tagged that price exactly because it happens almost every single time. You can ask my trade room how I've been losing my mind here. But you're price changing right into that. It's been price changing this whole time. So if this pulls back and I get a price change the other way, I'm going to put on the other half. I just said I wouldn't do that on the webinars, but I don't want to be chasing this thing. So this is the thing. Like I did this in crude earlier, and I cost myself, right? But I still have some on. I still got something on, even though it was half size, because most of the time it'll price change back up. I don't even have it on here. Hold on. Uh-oh. Did I never put that? Damn it. Hold on. Did I never put this bark and lick on? I sure didn't. You moron. So stupid. All right, I just put it on now. Remember, I was going to put it on. I was waiting for the price change here, and then I lost track of it. This is what I'm talking about. All right. So I put on half. It's not that far off from where I was going to put this short on anyway. Remember we talked about the bark and the lick? ATR retest confirm. And I said I was going to put it below here. Well, I got in right here, so I'm all right with it. If this price changes back up, I'll put on the other half. And now that there's a new event just fired off, remember my stop was going to be way up here. This is how I trail my stops, right? So the bark and lick, ATR retest confirm. The entry was supposed to be here, but I didn't want to enter in this prior event. And you can see it struggled there at first, right? My stop was way up here. Now we get a new event. You trail your stop to that. So if this pops back right now, then I just stop out right here, minimal loss, onto the next trade. 53 is your stop. And if I get a price change, I'm going to put on the other half. you know, the thing I just said I wasn't going to do. And again, you can put on the, let's put on the sound here. I already have it on, so it will sound off if this price changing to the upside. Then what else do we have? We have another A plus reversion. We're 4 for 4 on these on this webinar alone, right? Event, prior event, your entry is in front of it. As long as your stop's outside of it, that's the A plus reversion. It's called A plus for a reason. The market's already tagged these ATRs and come back to the zone. It's even better when you have volume events where traders are trapped and want the hell out when it comes back. So I will put that in. See if we can go 5 for 5 on this puppy. Probably jinxing it. Bookmap's really slow today. Or it's my computer, one of the two, and then my stop's up here. So this is the 2 ATR reversion. And this is the stop for the 2. That's what all these lines are. Right? It's not complicated once you know what you're looking at. All right, that's working. I got half of the bark and lick on short. If it pops up with a price change, I'll put on the other half. Still short crude. Nothing's happened out of the zone. It's still the reversion working off this Gexy level. Close to an A plus here too, so that's working. What else do we got? All right, so I am long gold here, but I only have half size on the slug. I mean the ILUGU and the Izzy. So here we go. Here comes your price change the other way, and I'll put the other half on. I could have put on a reversion here too. Let's see. That is too late now, probably, but I just want to see. It doesn't always have to be off a Gexy level or a prior event. It could be off something else. Yes, this was a reversion, of course. I take them off the yellow lug. I actually got this exact question today in my trade room. You should already know this. This guy's been killing it, by the way. He's in India, and he's been crushing these. He's been getting paid like weekly. Can we actually take a back in black? That's the reversion trade. One of the variations of the reversion trade off of the yellow lug. Yes, I put yes, 100%. This is the perfect example. So I just missed this trade. Tags the yellow lug. You take the corresponding reversions back to the zone, and I guarantee you, it's hey, look at that. What do you know? So I missed this one. Upsetting. That was the yellow lug. Take the corresponding reversion. Hopefully I didn't jinx you guys by saying that. Because right when because there's a camera in my office, a market camera that sees everything I do and it does opposite or say. So I said this was already going to be back, and the minute I said it, it ripped off the page. So anyway, that's the reversion I missed. It's coming right now, so don't worry, guys. You're welcome. You're welcome for not getting that one on. Oh, but this is the price change too, right? See how it's price changing? Now I'm going to put on my other half of my gold. This one worked, right? I got burned on it earlier, not getting full size, and all right, full size. So I timed that right. Perfect, right? I mean, I could still get stopped out of it. The point is, I didn't want to get in. This was price changing forever, by the way. Usually not this long. But again, when big money comes in, it could price change forever. So be careful trying to just scalp off this. But I didn't. I got in half there, and I said I'll put on the half if it price changes the other way. That was that. So now I got full size on. My stop is down here. This is ILUGU. ILUGU is buy ice. It's close enough. I'm okay with this, especially with this volatility, right? Buy ice at the lug. We already saw how the ridiculous lugs have worked. How did this NQ one work this morning? Pretty good. Of course, I missed this one too. This one hurt. I walked out of my office right at the open like a moron. Sell ice. That was this. My room better be having a great day today because I've missed so many damn trades. I've caught a bunch, but I've missed a ton too. Like this is right here. This was the sell ice. Right at the open because I think it's smart to walk out of my office right at the open. That's your entry. How's that? Just, I mean, the ones I miss are just, this was 150 points instantly. So, but it's just, guys, even if you miss the trades, right? If you want to focus on these strategies, when you learn my strategies, if you want to learn my strategies, which I highly recommend you do, because they work, right? You pick that could have been, you can say, yeah, I'm going to focus on the ILUGU. I love that one, right? And then you get really good at that one, and then add another one, add another one. Again, this is not to master 18 strategies right when you get it.
Hold
on here. Hold on, I'm trying to find this. let me get to some of your questions first. Wait, this is the, hold on here. So this is what I'm talking about. So this is the flip book I put in the, it's in the chat, right? So these are the strategies. I keep getting, every day I get the question, which course should I get first? This is the core. These are the events and the rules behind the 6 distinct stop iceberg events. Trading strategies is where I look for the events in important areas, right? And then you have the reversion course. We've taken a bunch of these today. All the rules behind all the different reversions. The aggressive, the back and black, where you're playing off something to coming back, and then the A+. We've taken like 4 of those today. We're 4 for 4 with the A+, right? So that's what that is. Here's a zone drawing tool. Good luck trying to draw. I drew these by hands for 7 years. I don't know how I did it. I didn't have all these strategies either, especially the reversion trades. But this, you're pretty much not going to be able to, catch even a fraction of the trades without this thing. But anyway, this is on the Bookmap marketplace too. If you remember my trade room, you get you get 20% off of this. The Pro gives you all the reversion lines and the position sizing. The basic, all it gives you is the ATR, and it draws the zone for you. All right, so the Pro gives you everything else that we've been looking at today. I'm still working this A+ reversion. This needs to be moved up a smidge. Hold on here. Why do I have 16 on in here? I have 116. Hold on, let me just cancel all this stuff. So see this position sizing for the reversion 1. Actually, this is the reversion 2.7. Right there. Now, remember, I'm going to step out of this. I only have half size on. Actually, I could put this on now. I want to put the other half. See this price change? So I'm going to put on the other half of my bark lid. All right. So I got full size on. Remember the bark and lick off of this guy. ATR, retest, confirm. I put my entry below this prior event. I got in half, and then I said I'm not going to put it on full size into the price change. Now it's price changing the other way. I put in the other half. My stop's right there because I'm trailing my stop now. So this is a very small risk for a big reward if this thing ever sells off. Of course, that will never happen because all it does is bungee jump every single day. But all right, that stops in. If this gets crushed, I got full size on. If it pops back out of here, I stop out, very little loss, and then I'll put on an A+ reversion potentially. Put the stop in case some news comes out. We should be due for a tariff headline here, shouldn't we? Blow me out of my trades. All right, let's see if you guys got questions. Ron. That's a good name. Hello, Scott. Please, can you get close to the mic? Can barely hear anything at all. Guys, I can't. I'm going to get a new mic, and this one's kind of cheap, but, I mean, you got to turn up your volume. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can really do there. My bad. But it's not my bad. It's loud and clear on YouTube. Thanks, Mosen. Mosen, hi, Scott. Would you please explain how large players typically exit their positions in the market? Specifically, do they rely on iceberg orders, stops, or other mechanisms? They use a lot of, like, the VWAP. They, will piece out that way. They have this VWAP pricing that, where they piece out a little bit every time. I'm not at a firm anymore. I don't know their exact methods. I do know most big money, they don't use stops. But yeah, they can piece out of with icebergs, so on and so forth. So I can't really speak to that. And I don't really care, right? It's like, this is what I'm saying. Like, you don't know what is going on here, right? Like up here, like there's a bunch of buy ice that got smushed. Well, were they getting out of shorts or were they initiating long? I don't know. I don't care. I know you're just wasting your brain energy energy, or can't think of the word, but you're wasting your time trying to understand why they're doing what they're doing. You're never going to know unless you're sitting next to them or you're God Almighty. So stop wasting your time. What you do know is this is an area of concentrated volume, and the market reacts very reliably to these areas. And when it moves away, it acts very reliably too. That's why we have position trades and looking for bigger moves. Then we have reversion trades, and we have sexy Gexys, things like that. But the point is, stop trying to know why they're doing what they're doing. You're never going to know, right? They could be hedging with options. It doesn't matter. Just find the area. You don't need to find the area. It draws the area for you, and follow the rules. So again, I've been doing this for 8 years. I've been trading for 25. I made millions of dollars scalping. I've got a lot of experience. So you might want to listen to me on how to trade these. Then as you get better at them, you can put your own spin on things, right? You can say, yeah, I like the ATR retest confirm, but you know what? I've noticed that once it just moves one, I wait for 3 ATRs and then I look. You see what I'm saying? Like, then you can put your own spin on things, and that's what you should be doing. There's guys in my trade room, right? Like we talked about the the aggressive entry ATRs. Well, there's a guy in my trade room that's been watching enough of these. He's actually, if you go to the YouTube, he's the DNH. I did a mentoring session with him last like January or something, or March. He's gotten so good now, or he trusts his instincts from watching so many of these. Now he'll take reversions aggressive if algo guy is in the direction of the reversion, right? So in this case, just say algo guy was, this is this dude. Say it was bullish, right? So say like it was over here, like bullish meaning the blue's above the red. So he's like, I'll take aggressive if algo guy's bullish, and he's got one other factor for it, and then he takes them, right? So the point is, yeah, you could put your own spin on things. I wouldn't be doing it until you watch about 4 million of them like I have, but you can do whatever you want. But I'm just telling you, regardless of what you do, if you don't have this information, you are not getting all the information. So good luck. What else? Jim Thomas. He's the teacher's pet in my room. Base trading, definitely a breath of fresh compared to what most guys are doing. Yes, guys. And then that's the other thing, too. If you read, like Dr. Brett says it all the time, a lot of these trading psychologists, there's not a lot of trading psychologists that are worthwhile listening to, but the people that make money are the people that are doing something different than all these, than everybody else, right? Like the uniqueness, there's nothing more unique than what I'm doing here, right? But this is based on my experience as a scalper and how I used to react as a large scalper. I could put on 3,000 E-mini S&Ps back in the day, right? So I have extensive experience in how I would react, how I would panic. If I got anytime I had 3,000 on it, I was usually wrong. I was trying to defend my position, which did not turn out well most of the time. But the point is, all of this stuff that's going on here is based on my experience as a scalper, right? So this is very, very unique. Not many, almost no. First of all, the percentage of traders even using Bookmap right now to our advantage is very, very small, right? In the grand scheme of things. Of traders, and the people using this information are, it's basically you guys listening in my trade room, right? So it's like, eventually this will expand, take advantage of it now while no one else is pretty much using it. And even if people use it, it just reinforces what we're doing anyway, right? So say we're taking a reversion trade. Well, if everyone jumps in on the reversion, it's going to help push it back. Granted, it's going to probably start screwing up our prices a little bit. The point is, I'm showing you guys stuff that is very unique, and it's very real, and it's the best hedge I've ever seen. Again, you can take my word for it. I don't even want you to take my word for it. What I want you to do is get Bookmap, get the daily data feeds. I have 5 years of those, right? Meaning each day of the data feeds. Run the days and practice the stuff yourself, and prove to yourself that it's unbelievably the strongest hedge that's ever been out there, right? So that's what I tell people. It's like, you can take my word for it. If you don't, replay the days and figure it out yourself. You're going to come to the same conclusion, I promise you. Tina, I put "you don't know what you don't know" on the cover of my trading journal as a reminder. Nice work, Tina. That's exactly right. You don't know what you don't know, and you don't know what's going to happen next, right? That's right into my rant that I usually do on these webinars. So again, if you come in my trade room, you do have to tattoo this to your forehead. And you got to do it backwards, so then you have your mirror, so you look in the mirror, or you can put it on your thigh. Just kidding, but you definitely want to read this every day. But what's one of the 5 truths here? You don't need to know. I added this part. This is out of his book, obviously, Mark Douglas. Or do you know what is going to happen next in order to make money? You don't know what's going to happen next. You can have a guess. Again, that's my thesis stuff. If I get the volume event in the direction of my thesis, then I trade bigger. Other than that, I don't know what's going to happen next. I told you this morning. The first thing I talked about was this crude long. Crude looked like it was going to get smoked, and it's getting smoked now. But this event proved bullish. I took the long, and it won, right? So that's my point. You don't know. What you do know are volume events and the patterns around them. That's what I trade off of. And that's what I'm trying to teach you guys, right? And nothing makes me more happy than teaching people to fight back against the man who's trying, we call him the man, right? That's the big money that's trying to take your money. This is a zero-sum game. They are trying to take your money. It's called a retail trader, right? We are the fish for the big money, but we can see what they're doing. So we have a much, much higher chance, higher probability of competing. 95% of traders fail, right? So that stat alone should tell you, I probably should be doing something different than what 95% of the traders are doing. Ron. I could say that all day. Can you move the picture to another place so we can see what ticker you're switching back from? Ron, you're very anal is not the word. What's the word? The ticker's right here, my friend, and I talk about it when I bring it up. And you should know if you're following these products, you should know by the pricing. But yeah, I don't know what you're referring to. Come on, Ron. Huda. A lot of unique names in here today. Interesting day. You can only plan. Market does what it does. Exactly. So I'm listening. So guys, my main weakness, right? My main strength is seeing patterns and picking up this stuff, right? That's what the trading strategies are. Like, it's always been my gift, right? Picking up patterns. That's what I'm teaching you guys. My weakness, by far, runaway, is my trading composure. When things start, and it has a lot to do with the PTSD that and the more I listen to this book, Trading Composure, it's this dude here. You might want to follow him. He has quite a few followers. But I got his book, and I've been listening to it in the car. Every time I get in the car, the thing starts up, and I'm forced to listen to it. Right, this dude right here, right? He just put out a book. It's on Amazon. Get an audio book if you don't want to read it, right? This is my runaway, by far, biggest weakness in trading, and it's the most important, right? So, I've gone through a lot. There's a saying out there, there's nothing worse than having money and losing it than never having it at all, right? Because when you have it and lose it, or you're not making it anymore, you know what it felt like to be rich. That's who I am, right? So not only that, I used to go head to head with this jackass in here that would manipulate the markets all day long. So that's why the markets feel personal to me. Most people it feels personal, but it's extra special personal to me because there used to be a guy that literally would see, he was trading, back then you could see counterparty, and he literally would see I was loaded up and he would push the market against me, right? So I have a lot of issues, PTSD, especially like and you get, so what he talks about in there is your triggers and everything else, right? My trigger is, I could take losing trades. I expect losing trades. You should always expect losing trades. I actually just reposted this the other day about the losing trade thing, because you're going to have losers. Of course, I lost the screen. Hold on here. It's probabilities. You're always going to have losers. What did I put on, what did I say here? I think it was from Trading Composure Guide too. Let's see. I reposted it. Right here. New traders try to avoid being wrong. Experienced traders prepare to be wrong, right? So every trade I put in, I'm basically saying I have a very good chance of being wrong here. What gets me, and again, you're going to be wrong when you have an edge. You're just right more often than you're wrong. That is it. There is nothing more to trading than that. Right here, the 5 truths. Anything can happen. You don't need to know. We talked about that. There is a random distribution between wins and losses for any given set of variables that define an edge. That is it. An edge is nothing more than an indication of a higher probability. That's it, guys. There is nothing more to it. I'm showing you, in my opinion, the best edge I've ever seen. So if you consistently put on the trades and keep your trading composure, you should be a winner. But like I said, and here's another one that I reposted. This is actually all phone and perfect for the rant. Let's see if I can find that. It wasn't too long ago. Let's see. There you go. The same guy, right? If we placed 100 traders in a room and had them trade a profitable strategy, which I'm showing you, the majority, first of all, would still lose because you just do stupid crap because you think something's going to happen. You know why? Trading is a mental game. You're up against your emotion and bias. This is it. So I've been saying this whole time, right? So I've been trading these Apex accounts for years because I didn't have the funds to back myself with tens of thousands of dollars for each one of these strategies. Now I'm trading live, right? Apex is live, and I've had many live accounts that have been paid out multiple times by him. But now I have my buddy that put $200,000 up. He backed 10 of these strategies for $20,000 each. That's what you're seeing here now, right? All of a sudden, now I'm like way more stressed. I'm doing letting it get to me. So that, again, this is what I was talking about, the trading composure, right? So it's like my trigger are the damn fill to the tick. It is unbelievable. And it happens 10 times a day where it's like, I'm going to get in a long, it fills to the exact tick, where if it didn't tag that tick, I would have never been long, and then I take the loss. Or I get stopped out to the tick, and then it goes my way. I know every trader could say the same thing, but you can ask my trading room because it's on video too. You can watch my webinar replays, which I have 5 years of them. It's uncanny. That's the stuff that sets me off, right? So I have many, many issues when it comes to the mental game, right? But once I finally can get past this, and this is why I'm working on it, just like you work in your trading, you got to work on your mental game. Once I get past that, and I show my buddy who's backing these with $200,000, he's a lifelong friend, right? He's got, he's worth $100 million. Instead of $20,000 accounts, there'll be $200,000 accounts. And then when I show him that, then there'll be $2 million accounts. And this is my ticket back to the big time, right? So I'm putting way more pressure on myself, and it's taking its toll on me mentally. So my point is, I'm being honest with you guys. This is, that's my weakness in trading is my mental game, and that's the number one thing. So I got to get my head out of my ass is what I'm telling you guys. But what you see with me, even on my webinars, I know it gets annoying for my room and stuff, but it's me bitching all the time. This, first of all, is how I get it out, because you got to get it out. Do not ignore your negative emotions, right? You got to get them out. My way is just talking, getting it out, saying, of course, to the tick, blah, blah, blah. But I forgot where I was going with that. But you can't hold in your emotions, right? But the point is, it's raw, is what I was getting at, right? So it's like what you're seeing is real trading. This is not like, end of the day, me showing you the right edge of the chart. Oh yeah, look at this awesome trade. Oh, look at this one. This was a winner. This is real time, and I'm a real trader, and this is what guys go through. I've made millions of dollars, and I'm still a mental midget, right? So it should be also refreshing for you guys to see not only that I was a millionaire, then zero, and then making my way back. I have the same issues as everybody else, probably magnified in a lot of areas, but there's hope is what I'm trying to show you and teach you. So you guys are working, especially my trade room, they're watching me in real time, try to get better with not being a mental midget, which I am sometimes. Some days I'm great, right? When everything's going, like today, everything's working. This is another thing that I always preach to you guys. The second biggest thing that mistakes that traders make, why they don't make it. One, they trail their stops to random areas, arbitrary areas that mean nothing in the market. Two, they hit their profit goal for the day and then they quit. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, going all the way back to my trading firm. Before I even knew what the hell I was doing in trading, I knew right away that was the most, I was going to use a politically incorrect word there. It was one of the dumbest things that I've ever heard, right? So it's these guys, for some reason back then, my trading firm, $5,000 was the magic number, right? They get up $5,000. I don't care if this was 6 minutes into the trading session. They get up $5,000. They turn their computer off and go and play video games for the next 8 hours, right? I'm not exaggerating. And I'm just like, well, once again, most of everything I do in my life and my trading is tries to use common sense. Well, if you made 5,000, maybe you should try to make 10. And if you make 10, maybe you can make 20, right? This is guys, trading is so hard, especially lately, when things are going right, like a day like today, when everything is working, you stay in your chair. It doesn't mean you give back the $5,000. Say that's your magic number, which is just so stupid. Say, okay, I'm up $5,000. Now if I give back 20% or $1,000, then I'll shut it off. I'm fine with that. I'm not saying you sit in your chair till you get back your profit. Give yourself a chance to have the huge day, because anybody that trades consistently, regularly, knows how hard trading is. So on a day that it's working, do not get up out of your chair. A couple, I'm not going to name the names, but I've done webinars with some guys lately, and a couple of their traders, all right, I have my winning trade, I'm done. It's like, it just doesn't, I can't even comprehend that. It just makes no sense to me. So covering a lot of errors that trader makes, why traders don't make it. A lot of chirping here. Let's see. Any other questions? Tina, I say it all the time, especially my teenagers. What's that, Tina? Which one? Which one of my rants do you tell them? All right, so now the markets are completely dead. I'm still working this reversion here. I didn't stop out of the short yet, though. So this is, for example, right? I can't believe this didn't happen. This is what I'm talking about. Usually, remember I said my stop's right there? It tags my stop to the tick. I'm okay getting stopped out. But, if it does something like that, I can't stand every single order I put in. See, I'm getting mad already. It tags it and then does that. Why does that have to be the tick? These prices, guys, I'm telling you, if you get the zone chart, your mind will be blown how accurate these prices are. It's insanity. It literally feels like there's a camera in your office. And there's another example. I can't believe I didn't get stopped on this. So I still got it on. Doesn't mean it's not going to come back up here, but I would have given you a real-time example of me losing my mind. All right, so crude's just sitting in this zone. So this still this market looks like it's going to get absolutely destroyed. I've been saying that for 3 days, and now it's finally happening. Again, that's gnarly. You never know when it's going to happen. That's why all you can do is trade your volume events. But bigger picture, over the next week or so, what should happen here? Why is this not working now? What is going on here? Of course, my drawer just. Oh wait, maybe it's because of this. Here we go. I mean, that is the quintessential fail balance break out. See how I put up a fight at the high volume node? High volume node is just the middle of a balance area where the most trade occurred. Put up a fight, broke down, put up another fight, had another balance breakout yesterday. I actually was short this guy. That little balance. It's all fractal too, right? This is weeks. This is the 1 day. Tried to break out, putting a selling tail. Remember we talked about how the importance of selling tails? Oh, by the way, a new Izzy zone. Failed. Now this looks like, again, this is that main balance, but it's already violated that. Like this, just think of it common sense. Say you're a longer term trader that was long in here, and now you're like, oh crap, I thought I had it. No, I'm going to try to hold on. I'll add some here. Oh no. So, and then the rule of thumb for this, bigger picture trading stuff, where you can trade options and everything else. We haven't even got into the option stuff yet today, which is the number one driver of these markets. I've been posting it every day. Is the height of this is usually. I'm long gold, am I not? Yeah. I never put on the other half of those gold. Oh yeah, I did. So gold's ripping, so we're long. Again, I take so many damn trades we lose track of it. All right, so we got a new event here too. So the worst case scenario is we can trail or stop, right? Remember I waited for the pullback and put on the other half here? This was a slug. I lug you in an Izzy long. Now we got a new event. Now, and I would combine these, this is a double whammy, one of my 6 distinct setups. You got the dumb money buy pukes into the waiting hands of sell ice. All right, so let's make this one zone because it was basically on top of each other right here, double whammy. Probably the strongest setup overall. All right, so number one, I can now trail my stop based on something that's happening in the market, not some arbitrary number that I don't want to get back any of my profit. That stop is right there. What's the issue with that stop? It's in a prior event, so I'm going to move it outside there so I don't stop in the same areas where I take A+ reversion trades. So that stop is now, but look how much I get to save now in risk. Right, so remember we went long off of this, buy ice. I waited for the pullback on the price change. I put the other half on. The stop was down here. Well now, because of the new event, the stop is there. You could stop out the new event, the most recent event, but I'm telling you, you're going to be pissed off most of the time. So get it out of there if you can. Granted, if it's 300 ticks, then no, you don't want to do it. But this one I'm willing to, especially with this 75 ATR. So I get to move it from basically 20, I'm talking the last 2 days, or 10, all the way up to 8. So I'm saving myself 70 ticks of risk right here just by the new event, right? So I'll move that up, and now I'm going to play another A+ reversion. We're 4 for 4 on these today. So again, these are the reversion lines. This one's actually inside of it, where you take it, and it's off the Gexy level. So you can take it back in black here too, potentially. It's not really bouncing off because the entry is below that. But then we play for the reversion back to the zone, and we're out. The closest thing to a scalp you can take. Here's my reversion sizing. I put on 0.6. That's what I did a little bit ago. Here's your entry for the 1 ATR. Here's your stop for the 1 ATR. We're at the time, by the way, guys. Oh, I got to get this OCO off of here. So entering there, exiting there. And then I'll be out at the zone if it pops back up there. And I'm going to trail my stop for my longs just below this zone. Curious, using my trade room. Been in there for a long time. Are you going to take the NQ2 ATR even though the 1 ATR already retested? No, I didn't see that, and that's a no. No, I'm not going to take this now. So this is my rule. You could, it could come back here, but I play for, if it already retests the zone, I'm done with the reversion. So thank you for pointing that out, Curious, because this is what I want from my trading room, right? I want us to be like a trading firm where we're pointing out, hey, that already retested. Like I say, I'm going to take that. I just filled on this A+er, by the way. So I'll stop. I'll exit if it pops up. My stop's down here. But like if everyone is contributing, nobody misses any events. People learn. Like if you come in my trade room, all I'm asking you to do is participate. Please post charts, even if you don't know what you're doing. That's how you learn, right? There's so many good traders in there that are profitable, that understand what's going on. They will correct you as well as me, right? So, all right. Any other questions? We're at the time already. Time flies when you're having fun. It's been a few days, weeks, months since I've been having fun. So today was perfect. I mean, we're 4 for 4 with the reversions. I caught some, and I missed some huge winners too. Usually that's another thing. Like, why go down the rabbit hole? Like I could have easily lost my mind at the beginning of the day today, missing this I lug you. That was instant 150 straight points. Like I kept my composure. Said it's my own. That's another thing he talks about in the book, having accountability. It's my fault that I stepped out of my office for 3 seconds into the open. Right. That's 8:30. That's my fault. So I deserve not to have that trade on because it's my fault, right? So anyway, I've missed some whoppers today too, but today has gone pretty well. All right, guys, I do this every day in my trade room. I gave you the flip book with the courses. Let me just run through this one more time, just so you guys know what the hell is going on here. Hold on. I already went through some of this, right? So you got the courses. There's my website. Indicator course, strategies course, where I look for this volume events. Here's a reversion trade. Here's a drawing tool. Just click on all these, obviously, and you can watch on YouTube. I got to update this video, but you can watch about it. This is getting back up to functional. You get this for free in my trade room. Or there is a subscription to this, but the site's not working right now. Here's my trade room. We got monthly, quarterly, yearly. And you get discounts to everything, the courses and mentoring and everything else, if you remember. Here's the Bookmap. You get a discount to that, the basic software. Here's the MBO you need for this Stop Iceberg stuff. Here's the Apex trading stuff. I'm an affiliate for them. This one I've used for 4 years now. Use Pulcini 50 for any sale. That's, I get an affiliate commission for that, but that could be your thank you for showing you the best edge in the history of the world, in my opinion. That's the one I put my name behind, and I've traded for 4 years, guys. There's many traders that have been paid. I've been paid by multiple times. They're legit. Best one out there, in my opinion. Mentor Q, these are the Gexy levels, incredible. Here's 20% off the yearly, and these are game changers. I've just been using these recently. I mean, it's been a year now, but unbelievable. We have all strategies for this. Here's Spot Gamma. We didn't even get into the hero, by the way. This is running the show. Whatever this is doing, I'll just show you quickly. This is the options activity, and it is whatever this does, the market does. This is the tail wagging the dog. And it's becoming more and more prevalent because of the 0 day to expiration games, and right now is when they start the games big time, right? So everything this thing does is what's driving this market, right? Every blip in this thing, that's exactly what's going on here. It is unbelievable what these 0 day to expiration manipulators are doing in here. So that's that. You get his founder notes, you get his levels. Like incredible, I'll be doing a webinar. They got a bunch of new stuff coming out in October too. That's that. Use Scott for 50% off for that first month. Here's the tick strike. Actually, I didn't even turn that on today, but incredible. Trader Sync. We got a new AI journaling thing. A guy in my trade room is building it. It's incredible. My trade room members will get that completely for free. This stuff will be obsolete, guaranteed. He's actually going to offer what they offer for free. That's how advanced his stuff is. That's coming soon. Here's levels. Shows you the ridiculousness, how powerful these things are today. Here's my cartoon face. I feel like this most days. And then here's my YouTube channel. And then here's all my, you got to contact me, Twitter. Here's YouTube channel, podcast about my history. And then here's the reviews. All right, guys, that was it. Good day so far. Don't get up because you're up. If you give some back, then you can get up. I'm begging you. Please stop making that error in your trading. I'll see you guys next Thursday. Thank you for joining.